Well, YouTube's finally decided that I'm allowed to be live, so that's nice. Took its sweet ass time, which is also nice. First, indeed. Welcome to the party. So, there was a request to talk about history with Dawn and whatever the hell the replace the Electoral College thing plan was. And then there was about 8 seconds of lively debate about what that would look like and why it was unconstitutional. And then pure unadulterated retardation occurred in Discord for like an hour. So there's that. No less, I figured we'd cover some totally legit history with Dawn the Pleb. And then we'll probably get around to gerrymandering and other things as time goes on. But relevantly speaking, history falls into two general categories: prehistory and then actual history. Prehistory basically starts in about 1490. Right about then, Columbus sailed over to the Americas accidentally while looking for India, thus giving us the name Indians for all of the Native Americans, and he set up a crapbag little country called Mexico. Now, other things happened there, but basically that's what happened. And then, after there was a crapbag country called Mexico, there was, we come to real history, right? Which is to say there were colonies, 13 of them, right? And those colonies eventually decided, you know what, fuck the British. And during this time, we found out that socialism was bad. I did not get a notification. I can that. Welcome to fucking YouTube. Anyhow, so around the time that the 13 colonies went, you know what, fuck the British. That's around the time real history begins. But we got some good stuff in prehistory, right? Because during prehistory, there's the story of Thanksgiving that we tell every year, where we found out that socialism sucks, and that the British suck. And look, these are things you really they're important, but they're not really history. And then, give or take, somewhere around 1776, history begins. Are we doing history? This is going to be good. Yes. Totally legit history with Dawn the Pleb. And so, right about then, I don't know, somewhere around July 4th, one might say, in that general vicinity, we kicked off some documents to those goddamn Brits, and we went, you know what? Fuck you people. Sons of bitches. And since then, history has begun. History didn't begin before 1776. Everything before that was a mistake. Ron Swanson? Yes, correct. Welcome to the party, Ghostly. Anyhow, so after July 2nd, actually, see, this is why it's important to have people not drinking to cover the important historical dates. And so, after we told the British they could go fuck themselves, real history began. During which time, we killed a bunch of British people because they wanted to do things like not let us have religion or our guns or lawyers or fair trials or any of those things. And then, after we killed the shit out of some British people, some French people gave us a statue. Now, the French people have some story back there in prehistory, but it's not really important because they're French. Mostly, it involves tormenting the British, which is good, but also a lot of surrendering, which is bad. So, We would hypothetically cover the British in prehistory, but they don't matter. I'm sorry, the French, but they don't matter. Relevantly, during the history portion, they did show up and give us some stuff so that we could kill British, because it turns out basically everyone loves killing the British. I don't know what to tell you. I'm sure there's a bunch of reasons back there in prehistory, but no one cares. Again, prehistory. So, relevantly speaking, after killing the British, we sort of sat around for a little bit, and then got our shit together a little bit. We expanded the place where history actually occurs, the United States, from just 13 colonies to 13 states, and then a bunch more as time went on, till we got up to 50. That's a long story. I'm sure we'll get there eventually, but no less, it did happen. Most importantly, while we were expanding to 50 states, we kicked the shit out of things all over the goddamn world. And while we were kicking the shit out of things, history as opposed to prehistory, everybody got upset, and they cried, and we didn't care. During this time, we invaded Haiti, because we felt like it, and fuck them anyway. We acquired Guantanamo Bay in Cuba, even if hypothetically it's not ours. It's ours. We went over to the eastern African coast and stomped mud holes in the asses of a bunch of slavers who were stealing white people, because we decided, fuck that. And just as importantly, we did this during a time where the British couldn't. We took over all kinds of things, did all kinds of stuff, but you know what's amazing? Is we said, we are magnanimous, and as much as we have taken over lots of things, you can have lots of it back. Just behave yourselves, and we'll let that be. They did a slave revolt in Haiti? That they did. But more importantly, we just showed up and said, no, fuck you. Shortly thereafter, historically speaking, the Germans started ass-pounding the entirety of Europe. And the Europors got very upset about this. And for some reason, we said, all right, fine. Europors, you're not the worst people in the world, I guess. And then we went over there and we killed the shit out of some Germans. And after we killed the shit out of some Germans, we told them, look, play nice in Europe, we don't want to have to come back. Yes, 1917. And so the Germans said, we totes swear we'll play nice. And we said, we really don't care, you're just going to burn down Europe again anyway. So it's not really a problem for us. And then about 20 years went by, and we said, you know what, the Germans are burning down Europe again. And you know what? Turns out we kind of don't care. I guess to be fair, there's a relevant civil war that occurred in the middle, but who cares? We're talking world history here. And so, as we were watching the Germans burn down Europe and the Japanese rape China, specifically the city of Nanking, we were like, you know what? Turns out, who cares? Like, look, we went over there and we stomped a mud hole in the ass of the Germans already. Can you guys just take care of this yourselves? And then the Japanese decided they were going to be very intelligent and attack America. And they bombed Pearl Harbor. By bombed, I mean they flew a bunch of planes into ships, mostly. And so we said, all right, if you're going to attack America, then be advised we're going to nuke the dog shit out of your two biggest cities after taking over every single fucking island that you have ever laid foot on, and kicking your ass so hard that you can taste our boots. And so that's what happened. During a time when we basically didn't even have a military because we'd been winding it down an incredibly large amount, we then just went, be advised, fuck the hell you. And then we did. And after destroying all of the goddamn islands that they held and kicking their asses all over the uh, eastern seaboard of the Pacific Ocean for that part of the world, we said, you know what? Weren't you allied with those German motherfuckers? I guess to be fair, it was more at the same time because we can, in fact, walk and chew bubblegum in America. So we went down to Africa and we started killing Nazis there. And then we went all the way up from Africa, across the Mediterranean Sea, up through Italy. And we killed the dog shit out of some Germans all over Europe. Again. And the Europors, who, for no reason whatsoever, seriously, had decided that they would just let Germany arm again, even after the Treaty of Versailles said they wouldn't be allowed to because they were a bunch of pacifist cunts. We're very happy for a brief moment after we killed the dog shit out of some Nazis. And then they suddenly decided, somewhere in, I don't know, I think the 60s, that it turns out Americans weren't that great after all, and it was just the Russians that had won World War II. And, dear America, thanks for all the money to rebuild basically our whole fucking continent, but fuck you anyway. And that basically brings us up to current, because they've been doing the same thing ever since. Relevantly speaking, they didn't bother to pay us back the money for rebuilding their whole fucking continent, basically ever. The British suddenly managed to get around to repaying us one, I think, of 3 loans about 2 years ago. Because, well, they don't pay their debts. What are you going to do? And so we've sat here like giant badasses, doing whatever we want all of the time, and no one can do anything about it, basically since World War II. And then, I don't know, every now and again getting a goddamn commie president who gets all wishy-washy and whiny about whether or not America could stomp a mud hole in the ass of every single person on every single continent everywhere on the planet. For some reason. And then every now and again we just decide, look, we're going to reach out and touch someone. And to be fair to one of those commie presidents, we did kill Osama bin Laden under one of them. And then we killed General Salamander, who was replaced by General Salami, which, by the way, is why he's not called General Salami. I think that generally brings us up to current. We went to Vietnam in the 60s and we killed them so fucking hard that 2 men and a dog could have overrun the whole country, but a bunch of goddamn commies in New York decided that it wasn't a good idea to press the attack, so we didn't. So the Europors like to claim that we lost because they're retarded. There's a reason for that, Don. No one else could produce after World War II because so many bombs. Yes, there is a good reason for that. And that reason is that they decided to be a bunch of pacifist whores that let Hitler rearm and destroy the entire continent. Again. Just saying. Write it off and stop giving them loans? Yeah. Oh, you forgot Korea. I did forget Korea. I don't know how I can forget that we've gone all over the planet killing commies forever, but we have been. We went to Korea and we killed the dog shit out of a bunch of commies. What is Fox about to start Pete-pilling the chat? Kind of. They do call Korea the Forgotten War, as they sort of should. Everybody forgets it, and I can't believe that I did, because I talk about it all the time. But nonetheless, we went to Korea because a bunch of commies decided they were going to do commie things, and we went, you know what? Fuck that. Communism bad. And so we went over there and we killed the dog shit out of them. And once again, we got told, oh, well, I mean, all you did was kill them like 30 to 1, but they won because at some point the American people decided that they didn't really want to put up with an eternal communism fight over in a place that no one cared about because it wasn't America. I mean, I'm just saying, if we had a war in America, I think Americans would care more. But the simple reality is, the rest of the world, we don't care. We don't. The end. We also massacred the filthy Chinaman. That we did. For some reason, commie things involve invading your neighbors. Who'd have thought? Weird. Exactly. So, I mean, relevantly speaking, since history began, the primary lesson one could learn is don't fuck with America. And if you think I'm kidding, one, be a communist, we'll kill you. Two, start a slave trade in which you steal Americans, we'll kill you. Three, start a slave trade at a time where we decide we're really touchy about slavery, we'll kill you. Four, be a commie, we'll kill you. It's because we failed to kill commies where it mattered the most, USA. That is incredibly relevant, right? So there was a time where there was one poor guy who was running around going, that guy's a commie, and he was totally right, and then we said terrible things about him. And his name was McCarthy, and it was sad. Relevantly speaking, not only did we say terrible things about him, but at the time we helped, supposedly, get General Pinochet appropriately elected in Chile, and he dealt with a bunch of commies there for us, and now, for whatever reason, we like to act like that was a bad thing. All I'm saying is that America can kill commies without even setting boots on the ground in other countries. We're that fucking good. We should probably start this sort of thing over in Europe right now. That's all. We need to get ourselves yet another McCarthy, but we need it, or not McCarthy, another Pinochet, but we need him in Europe. I mean, right now, McCarthy did do something wrong. He stopped. All right, it's relevant. Same thing Pinochet did. On the other hand, we do seem to be getting ourselves a nice brand new Pinochet in the form of the Filipino president, Duerte, who, by the way, just threw out a legitimate open-ended hit on communists in his country. Fucking America. We didn't say terrible things about him. Commies said terrible things about him, and boomers just sort of believe him. That's true. McCarthy was wrong. There were more people on the KGB payroll than we could have imagined. Probably also true. McCarthy was a good and honorable man. That's why the left hates him. Also true. Anyway, this has been your brief summation of all of history that fucking matters with Don the Pleb. No, we're not ending the stream here, but we may or may not get off of all of history that matters. Now, relevantly speaking, you may run into some people who think that there are some other parts of history that matters. They're wrong. I don't know what else to say. They're going to come and talk to you about Greece, and that's relevant. Our founding fathers did study prehistory. They're going to come talk to you about Rome, and our founding fathers did study other parts of prehistory. But it doesn't matter because it's prehistory. And a bunch of douchebag commies in other countries who occasionally stumbled upon a good idea almost entirely by accident, not really relevant. In fact, the only thing, as far as I can tell, that is relevant in any way, shape, or form in prehistory was 300 Spartans dying heroically because they could have been Americans, but they were a little early. Duarte threatened a war on Canada once, didn't because of the recycling scam where they dumped their trash in the Philippines. I believe that. Good for him. The Romans. Yep. Anyhow, this is basically everything that you'll ever need to know about history in all of time. That's all that I'm saying. There may be some other things in, at least, in the world of politics kind of things and countries and what have you. Nothing else matters. It's basically that simple. The only reason the founders studied prehistory is because real history hadn't happened yet? Exactly. That's what I'm talking about. Uh, when the Catholics told him to stop having drug dealers shot in the street, he publicly accused them all of being closeted homosexuals. See, I like New Pinochet. At the time, the Alamo was compared to 300 Spartans. Relevant, and it should be, right? Because, except, we didn't have 300 guys. There was, what, like 12? Right? And all I'm saying is they held off a relevantly equivalent sized force. Or at least proportionally equivalent sized force. Now, you may notice that even during history, other countries did exist, and we occasionally benevolently showed up and saved them from being retarded. This is basically the story of America. I don't know how to tell you this, that's how it works. Lots of people all over the place claimed they did great and amazing things, and good for them, but they didn't. What they did do was find out that a fledgling country was going to kick their ass all over the globe, and then got upset about it, and then decided they hate us. He also apparently used to go around on a motorcycle hunting criminals, in his own words, paraphrased, just to show the guys on the force that anyone can do it. That is fucking motivational. Like, I'm not even kidding. That is exciting. No one may speak of the Romans. This is America Stream. Everything is America Stream. Anyway, we've benevolently wandered around the world and helped the other goddamn retards who can't manage to protect themselves or really do productive things, and we've subsidized their defense so that they could run around being a bunch of faggots with socialized medicine. And we didn't even conquer them, which we should have, because at least then they might actually know what freedom was and not be ridiculous, stupid Europores. On the other hand, Europores are the best we have to deal with most of the time, because, and I'm including Canada and Europores. Sorry, Canada. I don't know if that's an insult or not. But no less, generally speaking, we have run around and done all of the things so that they don't have to, and that's important because then they get to be a bunch of douchebags who sit around and do socialist things and go, America, we're better than you. And then shortly after that, we find out that they're not better than us at anything. I guess to be fair, you got a medal for failing, they would win. No, because then they would get a say. Relevant. We should make them like unincorporated territories. Britain is sort of trying. They're doing Brexit for real this time. Not really, right? So, Britain, in their attempt to fail at winning, has decided they're doing Brexit but don't get to control their borders, which was like most of the point of Brexit. I mean, it's sort of like if you won the Special Olympics and still somehow got a silver medal. America claims space, so everyone else sucks. That's true. Back in the 60s, we went to the moon and we stabbed an American flag in that bitch and said, fuck you, this is ours. Basically been ours ever since. That's literally why Texas screamed at DC not to annex all of Mexico. Relevant. Because then they would get a say. Relevant. Also why we should not annex Mexico despite this idea that maybe we could make it peaceful or something down there. I don't care. Fuck them. Look, one of those universal truths is that you can't force somebody else to change. They have to want to change on their own. And Mexico doesn't. So, no. Fox don't give us hope, it only encourages us. Don't worry, Craig. I'm here to squash that shit. I mean, subsequently, by the way, a bunch of people have been complaining that Brexit will make the UK the 51st state. And dear UK, you think a lot of yourselves. We don't want you as the 51st state. We got rid of you 240 years ago, and we've been kind of done with you since. We'll take Craig, but fuck the rest of your shitty little island. Right before the Civil War, we had a bunch of guys that just got their own armies and started invading shit. Because fucking America. You're goddamn right. That's all I'm saying. It's been the way of things forever. So, guaranteed, it's going to be coming again. What can I say? Now, despite that we've gone back and gone over a few other things, this has been your totally legit history lesson with Don the Pleb. And if you don't like it, you're probably British. And not Craig. And if you're British and not Craig, no one cares. I'm fairly certain there's somebody else I consistently say we should pull out of there, but I forget who. Mostly American diplomats, though. After that, nuke Europe. And by Europe, no, I'm not confusing Europe and Britain. I mean nuke all of Europe, except Poland. We can keep Poland. I like Poland. Poland could be cool. In fact, without the rest of Europe, Poland would probably be really cool. So nuke Europe, except Poland. I don't know, I think that about covers it. Chat, we miss anything here? Anything else we should include in our totally legit history lesson with Don the Pleb? I'm gonna have to just let that, Checks are okay? I mean, maybe. Yeah, we could take Rogers. I like Rogers. Rogers is a good guy. I don't know. I'll have to look more into the checks, but isn't V a check? Isn't he from Czech Republic? I mean, that's not a good sign. That's all I'm saying. Without Europe, Poland wouldn't have to worry about being invaded every 5 minutes. That's relevant, right? Not to mention, after we nuke Europe, Poland could take most of it. And I'd be okay with that. V is Romanian. Fair enough. V's Romanian, it doesn't count. Fair enough. My apologies, chat. I will have to look into the checks. We might be able to keep the checks. We'd have what? Like a third of Europe to the Czechs, and the other 2/3 to Poland. I think we'd be better off. Russia is Poland's other problem. That's true, but I mean, if the only people that we have to protect the Poles from is Russia, I think we're better off. Well, I don't know about their good history in firearms manufacturing, but they have manufactured a lot of firearms. Well, if we get rid of Russia. Exactly. See, this is how we develop foreign policy. Which country should we nuke off the face of the earth and give to the Poles? I mean, the answer is basically all of them. Except the Philippines, because we need new Pinochet. I mean, we did invade them once. Well, you know, invaded lots of stuff. Turns out, just the way that it works. What are you gonna do? By the way, there may be some complaints about this totally legit history with Don the Pleb because something the various Euro poor countries are upset because we didn't include all of the great things that they did, which they didn't do. Poland almost annexed Russia during the 1600s. They should have. Russia's a good boy, at least since the communists went away. So here's the problem with that is that communism is polling well in Russia again. So all I'm saying is they're not that good. They all seemingly, or at least the millennials, miss Stalin for whatever reason. Hang on a second, Chad. Russia's fucked after Putin goes because the second party is Communist Party. See what I mean? And we can't be having that shit. That's all I'm saying. Jesus. Millennials were a mistake, probably. That's the kind of check. That's the kind of on the checklist for a great nation. You invade Russia and you invade China. You invade Afghanistan. We've done all three. That I'm saying. Jesus Christ. I'll be right back, Chad. Don is not dying of pneumonia. Uh, Don is dying of horrible allergies. Don's got the China virus. Unlikely. That's all I'm saying. Dawn's much more likely got the... Dawn hasn't eaten fast food in, like, years, and ate more of it over the past week than I have in... I don't know, at least since I moved to Texas. Virus. It's a problem. That's all I'm saying. Anyway. Alright. I think that gives us a good break for totally legit history with Dawn the Pleb. Julius Caesar was a victim of knife crime. Still waiting for Sadiq Khan to condemn this barbarism. Relevant. Anyhow. What the hell, YouTube? Alright. So, there were other things that we were talking about, which is very exciting. Hold on, I've got to Google. Dear Lord. Here's an unbiased history of Rome if you want. Yeah. I think you sent me that already, and I need to watch it at some point that is not now, sadly, because it looks amazing. Where's Pete? In California. What the fuck? So, see if we can figure this out. I assume we can. That, boom. I'm gonna have to fix this. No. Move stuff around, which is exciting. So, gerrymandering. I know everyone thinks it's all wrong and terrible and it's just the worst thing in the world. Sure, it's not great. Have I virtue signaled enough? However, managed to get me away. Entire state of Wisconsin in here. Alright. We'll move me there. Sort of out of the way. Yes. There we go. Alright. So. Look. Prime example. There's all this gerrymandering. And I'm guessing that's Richmond. No, that's the state of Wisconsin. See, there's all this gerrymandering that's happening because things. Now, relevantly speaking, can I see the mouse? I don't know if you... I don't think you can, but let's see here. We'll just do this the really hard way. So if you look at this map, you'll notice that it's different from that map, and it's different from that map. And see, they rearranged things so the Democrats didn't win. Even though the Democrats got more votes. Don's fights with the computer more than he fought the Taliban. I mean, not really. It's not even close to Richmond. That is true. Anyway, see, they rearranged the districts and the Democrats got more votes, but the Republicans got more seats. And so that proves that this is gerrymandering express for the express purpose of Republicans winning, and therefore we know that this is gerrymandering and that it's bad because only the right gerrymanders, something, something, blah, 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 blah. Now, the arguments for this sort of shit tend to come down to, well, but it doesn't look great on a map. Okay. And so is this related to the majority of districts plan Richmond has? Kind of. Right, so the idea of gerrymandering is that in your various states, each, what's it called? District gets its own what amounts to House representative for the state, right? And so, as you can see, in 2008, the Democrats had 50 seats, the Republicans had 46. In 2010, the Democrats had 38 and the Republicans had 60. And in 2012, Democrats had 39 and Republicans had 60. Now, relevantly speaking here, the premise of these sorts of things is that you will represent a group of people. Weird, I know. So, the argument is that if you look over here all the way on the left, this... You guys can't see the mouse. That's terrible. Apparently not. Definitely. Weak. So, if you look at the map all the way on the left, there were 1, 2, 3, 4 districts in blue up there on top. And if you look all the way on the right, there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 districts that encompass most of the same area. But since they spread out that one district that looks, I don't know, like a digital baby, right? That means that the Republicans get more seats, and so something, something, gerrymandering. Here's the problem. Democrats, I mean, they run in cities. So if the suburbs of that area that looks like the digital baby in 2012 vote Republican and have had no representation from the Democrat retard who was over them for 4 years prior to that, then that redistricting sounds like, hey, I'd rather be over there. But it doesn't look pretty. Therefore, it was solely done for the sake of Republicans winning. Now, if you look at, let's see here, Wyoming, Jesus Christ, Wisconsin. I'm an idiot. Been talking about Wyoming too much lately. Come over here, and where's my goddamn satellite? Fuck right off. Satellite. So, come over here. You look at this goddamn map, right? So, Wisconsin. Get ourselves some state lines so we can appropriately deal with what's going on here. So it's this whole area that's being broken up. Wow, it's like there's geographic terrain features and things that break up who's where in this area. Wyoming, the other state than Texas that I'd like to live in. I mean, you're not wrong. And so, Go look at this. Notice that it's, what, up in this area, right? I mean, I guess I should have made an overlay of this, but it's the drunk stream, so you're going to deal with it. Well, wow, it's like this whole rural area right up till you get to the massive city crap. Right? But hey, this is just gerrymandering for the sake of Republicans winning. Anyhow, so if you just go, well, but they changed it and it doesn't look pretty on a map like this, then it looks like gerrymandering. But if you come over here and you find out that it's based around where cities are and out of city suburbs and places that tend to vote more Republican, then what it sounds a lot like is you don't get to wrap little Republican areas into a Democrat district, so they're not represented at all. So as it turns out, have geological features and other roads and cities. Who'd have thought? Yeah, weird. Yeah, fuck allergies. You're not kidding. And driving across the country and then coming back to the open plains of fucking northern Texas is not good for yours. That's all I'm saying. So, Jesus Christ, this would be painful. Anyhow, but this is the same thing that you find in lots of gerrymandering maps. I think it's you're allergic to cheese. Why would God forsake you so? I'm not allergic to cheese. At least not more than any other human being, insofar as cheese produces snot. But then again, all milk products do. So it's not really an allergy, it's just sort of the way that it is. But I think it's Virginia. Has the one that everybody likes to point. Is it Virginia? Maybe. We'll find out. Not you, Craig? Jesus Christ. So, I think so. Well, it's not this one. Somebody has one that looks like an L or some shit, and everybody whines about it. But, like, this sort of thing, right? As though this group of people don't vote the same way. This sort of thing. This little guy right here, it's got that little tip right there. See, that's pure gerrymandering. It's definitely not that those people vote the same way. And by the way, the only places that vote Democrat are fucking over here anyway. Right? No, Don, are people bad? Yes. Texas comes up in poli-sci classes for fajita districts. All right. Let's look. So, prime example, right? Exactly what I'm talking about, with it being the suburbs. This is obviously gerrymandering because it goes all the way around this city. What goes all the way around cities? Is it suburbs? I don't know. I'm not sure. But I feel like if you have a city and there's urban areas, you have suburban areas right outside that. I don't know. I could be wrong here, but that seems like the situation. And so, if you had suburban areas that all wanted to vote one way, but the urban area wanted to vote the other way, you just give them different districts. Usually an interstate with some burbs. Yeah, right. And this is what consistently happens, and by the way, is what is cited as, oh, but it's gerrymandering. Okay. What's the answer? Should we divide the suburbs up into 10 different districts so Republicans get more votes? Are you sure that's what you want to do? Suburban areas, cities want to annex for more productive tax base? Yes, that's a fact, right? But is that what we should do? Is go, well, the suburbs, like should we divide this into one district up here at the top, that big square up there at the top, and then one district, the kind of L shape that runs down the side, one district, the part that runs out the side the other direction, one district, the little ball down there at the bottom, and give Republicans, what is that, 4 separate districts instead of one? Would that make you happy? By the way, one of the relevant things about places like Texas is that what you end up with is dense city areas with suburban areas around them and then farmland around that. And by the way, as it turns out, city planners didn't get to go, well, we're going to build out in a big circle. And so everything outside of the circle, that's going to be farmland. They built out where crapbag little cities approved them building shit. So if you don't like how the district looks, blame the people who approve the building projects. Now, in Texas, that's less of a problem, and it's more about who it is that actually was willing to sell land most of the time, right? But no less, fine, blame them, right? If the only people willing to sell land looked like this to create suburbs, then that's what you get. But hey, I'm sure I'm just making excuses for gerrymandering and blah, 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 something, right-wing conspiracy about how gerrymandering's fine. City planners are degenerates. That is a fact. So, but anyways, let's look just to make sure I'm not bullshitting you after that whole speech. What is that? Fort Worth. What's funny about that is that's kind of what Fort Worth looks like. Weird, right? It's almost like Fort Worth isn't this perfect circle. It's almost like Fort Worth looks almost as fucked up as this district. And what they did is go, oh, look, here's the inner city. And here is all of the suburban farmland kind of shit. Like, tell me this isn't the burbs. Right? Yeah, but no one planned my city because it was here before history began in 1776. Relevant. Think these people have all of the same wants as these motherfuckers over here in dense fucking city area? Think that these bitches have the same thing in mind for what they want? Oh, but it should look pretty on a map. Bitch, Fort Worth doesn't even look pretty on a map. It's a giant fucking disaster area of where they got to build. Think I'm kidding? I mean, look at this fucking thing. Gerrymandering is a Republican thing, huh? Want to talk about voter fraud? Oh, So, supposedly gerrymandering is a Republican thing. When has a city ever been a perfect geometric shape of any kind? Never. Uh, so, relevantly speaking, gerrymandering is a Republican thing. Do you see this place? Look at Fresno. Look at Los Angeles. um, what is it? Nevada, Placer, El Dorado, right? This this must be gerrymandering, right? And I'm sure the Republicans did this. I mean, that's how this worked, right? The Republicans came in here and made this nonsense. Like for a again, the Los Angeles fucking thing here. Widen this window out. This shit, where Los Angeles goes up and around, San Bernardino has all this space where there's nobody. Like, there's a city down here, and this is the Mojave Desert. I'm sure that city has the same interests as the people who live in the middle of the Mojave Desert. Same with Riverside, right? But I mean, look at Fresno. Whatever you think of the rest of them, I'm sure this, right? This shit up here in Fresno, that's the shit, right? That's good. Lassen, where it comes up here and then reaches all the way around down, that's literally the shape the Democrats say means there is gerrymandering. Because they would never do that, right? But hey, I'm sure it's fine. Because the Democrats did it, right? I mean, I don't even know what else to say here. It's pure retardation. Coastal areas are clearly Republicans who need to impose themselves on the oppressed Eastern Californians. Yeah, that's definitely how it works. Hang on, chat. I heard the patrolling the Mojave almost makes you wish for a nuclear winter. Can't remember where I heard that though. I might have said that. Anyway, apparently I can't stop coughing, so this might be short. Which is always exciting. Like, I might actually just call this now. But anyway, gerrymandering's bullshit. Sorry, chat, that I apparently am dying of horrible, horrible cancer. I may be back tomorrow. So, I cannot sit here and keep coughing like this. I will catch you all later. Bye, chat.